Right now, someone is stuck in traffic. Coffee is still warm. Everything is ordinary. But imagine temperatures start plunging and never stop, past -20, past -40, until in 24 hours, the entire Earth freezes solid. At -20, batteries lose a third of their charge. Exposed skin frostbites in minutes. That is barely hour one. What fails next is something no grid or city was ever built to survive. Streetlights flicker as the grid strains under a sudden, relentless cold. Transformers, engineered for winter, but never for this, begin to fail in clusters. At -20, the glass and steel bushings that insulate high-voltage lines contract at different rates. Glass shrinks less than steel, building invisible tension. When the temperature slips past -25, brittle fracture becomes a certainty. A single pop, then a cascade, porcelain shatters, oil leaks, and substations plunge into darkness. In the control rooms, engineers watch as frequency dips and voltage sags ripple outward. Demand for heat surges, but supply falters. Battery banks, lifelines for emergency systems, lose over 30% of their capacity by the first hour. Lithium-ion cells, the workhorses of modern backup power, slow their chemical reactions as internal resistance climbs. At -20, what was once a 4-hour reserve is now less than 3. As the mercury drops further, the batteries themselves threaten to freeze. Oil inside transformers thickens to sludge. At -30, viscosity increases 100-fold, choking pumps designed for summer storms, not Arctic collapse. Forced cooling fails and windings overheat even as the world outside turns to ice. In the 2021 Texas freeze, similar failures triggered a blackout in under 6 hours. Now, with temperatures falling twice as fast, entire city grids flicker off in less than 3. The outage is not contained. Power lines, already burdened with ice, begin to gallop in the wind. Steel contracts, snapping cables like brittle thread. Automated switching stations, their circuit boards sluggish in the cold, fail to reroute current in time. The blackout spreads from block to city, from city to state. By hour 4, over half of the continent sits in darkness, with only islanded microgrids flickering on borrowed time. Within cars, dashboard lights dim. At -20, lithium-ion batteries lose half their strength. At -40, almost all. Engines struggle to turn over. Starter motors whine and die. Diesel fuel gels below -15, clogging injectors and stranding trucks on highways. Traffic jams become silent graveyards, vehicles frozen in place. By hour 6, the global grid is in freefall. The world's electrical heart, built to withstand storms and heat waves, has no defense against a planetary deep freeze. The blackout is total, and the age of electricity ends before dawn. Frozen silence spreads as day breaks. By hour 6, the first ponds and shallow lakes have already turned to glass. In sheltered bays, a thin sheet of ice forms within 2 hours, locking reeds and waterfowl in place. Surface water less than 2 meters deep cannot hold its warmth, and at -25, heat escapes so fast that ice thickens by several centimeters every hour. Streams slow, then stop, their surfaces crawling with frost that hardens into plates. Fish trapped beneath the forming ice struggle for oxygen, their world shrinking by the minute. Wildlife senses the change before it can comprehend it. Small mammals, like mice, shrews, and voles, seek burrows or cluster in leaf litter, but the cold is absolute. At these temperatures, exposed skin freezes in less than half an hour. Field studies show that a mouse caught above ground at -20 loses vital heat so quickly that its core temperature drops below the survival threshold in under 40 minutes. Even huddled together, their bodies give up warmth to the frozen earth. By the end of the 8th hour, the first lifeless forms stiffen beneath the snow. Birds fare no better. Sparrows, finches, and starlings caught in the open lose their battle with the cold in 30 minutes or less. Feathers evolved for winter offer little defense against a cold this deep and sudden. Some collapse mid-flight, others freeze to branches, wings locked in place. Where once the air filled with calls and movement, now there is only stillness. An ecologist watching from a frost-laced window records the first casualties. The collapse is not gradual, it is total. In the wild, survival depends on adaptation, on the slow rhythm of seasons. Nothing in nature prepares for a night that falls in the middle of the day, for a world that freezes solid in the space of a morning. As the hours pass, the frozen landscape becomes a silent graveyard. Rivers stand motionless, ponds are sealed under thickening ice, and the forests grow quiet. The living world, so recently in motion, is stilled. The next blow will fall on the systems that carry food, fuel, and hope across continents. A world already dark, now turning cold and empty. Across the globe, highways are abandoned as engines stall and fuel thickens to wax. Diesel trucks, the veins of commerce, grind to a halt when temperatures dive below -18. No amount of anti-gel can keep injectors clear as the mercury plummets toward -30. In airport hangars, mechanics work in futility. Jet fuel, designed for polar flight, begins to gel at -47. By the 12th hour, runways are littered with grounded aircraft, hydraulic fluid seize, and control surfaces freeze solid. Even the most robust airliners, built for Siberian winters, cannot escape the grip of this cold. Rail lines, once the backbone of continents, fare no better. Steel rails, engineered for strength, become brittle at -30. The ductile brittle transition hits with little warning. Under the weight of a stopped train, rails snap with a clean, echoing crack. Freight cars sit stranded in endless frozen lines, their contents locked away, unreachable. A transport engineer, shivering in a powerless control room, describes the system as paralyzed by the laws of physics. Every machine, every vehicle, is designed with a lowest operating temperature, a limit now surpassed everywhere at once. The world's arteries are cut, and isolation sets in. Yet beneath the chaos, a deeper verdict emerges. A climatologist, staring at global temperature charts, points to the stubborn reality of thermal inertia. Oceans, holding 1,000 times more heat than the air above, resist the freeze. Even as surface water forms ice, the bulk below remains liquid, releasing warmth upward. Earth's energy budget is a fortress against instant transformation. No natural process, no volcanic eruption, no cosmic event can strip away this heat in a single day. The surface may lock in ice, but the deep remains, for now, unfrozen. The laws of thermodynamics do not bend for disaster, only slow its hand. As the world stands still, science offers a cold comfort. Total, instant freeze is a fantasy, but the devastation above is real enough. By the 18th hour, the world's surface lies locked beneath a crust of ice. Above ground, no movement stirs. The last hope for survival shifts below, into cellars, storm shelters, and concrete bunkers hurriedly sealed against the cold. Inside these makeshift lifeboats, survival is reduced to numbers and chemistry. Each person draws about 0.9 kilograms of oxygen from the air each day and exhales a matching 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide. Without ventilation, carbon dioxide creeps upward, dulling minds and quickening panic. Soda-lime scrubbers, if present, buy precious hours, about 1 kilogram per person per day, a silent battle against suffocation. Oxygen stores dwindle faster than most imagine. A shelter for 4 people with 10 cubic meters per person runs out of safe air in less than 3 days, even with careful rationing. Generators, once a comfort, become a countdown. A standard 5 kilowatt generator uses about 1 liter of fuel every hour. A full 20-liter tank runs dry in less than a day, leaving only the chill and the dark. Food, stockpiled in buckets and cans, offers little solace when calories are needed just to shiver and stay conscious. A 1,000-calorie ration meant for emergencies is barely half a day's need in sub-zero cold. A bunker engineer, voice muffled by layers of fleece, lists the limits: oxygen, carbon dioxide, fuel, heat. There is no margin for error, Every breath, every candle flame, every opening of a hatch eats into the chance of survival. Above, the ice thickens. Buildings collapse under the weight. The last generator sputters and dies. In the final hours, even the most prepared are left with the sound of their own breathing and the cold pressing in. The planet falls silent, not just frozen, but emptied of motion and hope. No shelter lasts forever. The ceiling on survival is absolute. When the air runs thin and the heat is gone, all that remains is stillness. Civilization's grip on survival is fragile. One shift and silence reigns. No natural force can freeze Earth in a day, but rapid climate extremes already strain our limits. The real terror lies in how quickly normal can vanish. Nature's edge is always closer than we dare to admit.